What's up, everybody? Welcome to another special episode of maybe History Hyenas, maybe Conspiracy Cuties. Who gives a fuck? We got the great Tim Dillon on the beanbag.
I didn't even know we were starting.
We fucking start. Who
Sorry
knows
about that.
We don't even know if Binky's been recording since we were talking about who we hate in the business.
Yeah.
And that might be the $15 million
That might
episode.
be 50 million. We were yelling slurs.
Yes. So the great Tim Dillon's in New York.
Will a fucking hedge fund manager buy that episode, you pussy?
Yeah.
I know.
Just show a show of strength.
Just Altucher, instead of shitting on Seinfeld.
Altucher doesn't have money. Someone with actual money. Nobody with money is writing fucking articles about New York. They're earning money. Okay? They're not fucking getting infused with Jerry Seinfeld in the New York Post, which is a litter box for a cat. It's disgusting. Okay? So stop.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Altucher has like $300,000 maybe.
Let me ask you a question. So,
I respect him more.
is New York dead or no?
No, it's cyclical. It's going to come back. New York's the greatest city in the world. There's a lot of things that make it great. It's always been a city that's kind of reinvented. There's a lot of new blood. This will be a very hard, rough period that'll push it to the brink of collapse. The real estate prices will drop. New people will come in. And in 3 or 4 years, you'll have a bunch of young kids that come in that don't want to hear about Donald Trump. They don't want to hear about COVID. They're going to start doing goofy comedy and playing guitars and wearing funny hats. And then they're all going to be millionaires. And that's just what it is. And then they're going to open up grilled cheese shops and coffee houses. And it's just going to be like cyclical. And you're just going to get sick of it.
But for the time being, you're in the desert.
For the time being, I'm living 2 hours from Los Angeles in an undisclosed location in the desert, and it's beautiful. I enjoy it. Palm Springs. It is 117 degrees. It kind of keeps the looting down.
It keeps Antifa out.
Yeah.
We were we were saying the place you want to live right now is a place that otherwise would be unconducive for humanity to reside.
Yeah, I live on the surface of Mars, essentially. I mean, it's red rocks all around me. The desert's hot. I have a big lizard that lives in my garage.
There's nothing even burned down over there.
Yeah. No, nothing.
Statues to pull down?
No, there's nothing. There's no statues.
You want nature to work against whoever's going to protest. Like Chris is safe too, because guidos in their natural habitat are part of nature, and they will keep the protests out of Bay Ridge.
You're not getting into my house because I got guidos everywhere on the perimeter in Bay Ridge, and then I got a crazy Puerto Rican that'll push a fucking air conditioner out the window if you even come close to me if you're a woman trying to protest.
Right,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's, it's nice. It's nice to have that. It's nice to have just a nice fucking girl around you that'll just cut you. That'll just cut a bitch. I like that. Now, what you think of No-No's Pizza?
It was very good.
You like that zucchini slice?
It was very good. It was light. I hadn't had a New York piece of pizza in a while. It was very, very good. There's nothing like New York pizza. You know? It really is good.
Well,
You're comfy on that fucking beanbag,
Yeah.
too.
It's really good, yeah.
Now you've seen Bay Ridge walked around with us.
Yeah.
What is your either impression, diagnosis, or harangue on it?
It's not a harangue. I mean, listen, I've never liked the upper middle class. I don't like them.
I get it.
It doesn't do anything for me. I think it's a beautiful area. I think it's a great area to live in. Yeah. It doesn't fascinate me.
Right. What fascinates you?
I like people that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right. You like.
I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
The Hamptons,
It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I'm like a part of that or ever will be, and that's I need not even say that. But I just, it's not an area that I'm not going to be kept up at night by Bay Ridge, but I'm not kept up at night by where I grew up.
Right. Where do you want to? What keeps you up at night?
Sagaponack.
Yeah. Fifth Avenue.
Park Avenue.
Yeah. Beverly Hills, is that the Bronx compared to Milton?
No, I mean Beverly Hills. Yeah, I mean in terms of taste, yes, but there's some real money over there.
Yeah.
There's some real money over there. Pollock's Path in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Keeps me up. One Hyde Park in London.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay.
I just like to know. I said to Ben, my producer, we were eating.
Who's on the hot seat?
Yeah, he's on the hot seat. He better figure it out.
Yeah, because homeless pimp's coming.
Pimp's coming. I'm going to take Pimp, and I'm not going to pay you, but you're going to meet Whitney Cummings. So the whole thing is you're going to inject Botox into Whitney Cummings' ass. Here's the whole thing, and it's better than money. So the
we're gonna release this, so we got.
I don't care. Yeah. She doesn't care. She's a comic. Okay, she's the only comic in LA right now, not in jail. R.I.P. Here's the point. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I just am very interested. Like I looked at Ben. We're eating a little strawberry Oreo ice cream at John's in Montauk. Well done. And I said, it's got to be funny to make $1 billion. And we just started laughing. Yeah. I said, it's just to make $1 billion is funny.
Yeah.
It's it's funny.
Yeah.
There's something about it that like I just start laughing when I think of a guy with $1 billion,
Right.
I just start laughing.
Right. He never has to hear like
Yeah.
his wife go, "Hey,
Anything.
I want to do this," and he never has to hear himself go, "I'm not sure if we can afford that."
You know what it is?
Right.
People have such vastly different experiences on planet Earth. Vastly different.
Almost that we're like a different species. That's
It
how different
really,
it is.
it really is, and yeah, and that's an alt-right dog whistle. I appreciate that because they do spend the money, and no, but it really truly is, and like to me, I look at those waspy people in the Hamptons, or the people that've made. You've been rich for centuries, been rich for so long, and they're a little different. They're just a little different. The way they act is a little
They
different.
smell good. They have a scent. Giannis talks
They're
about the scent that they
quiet.
have.
Wasps
They're
always
quiet.
smell good, and I
They
don't
smell
know.
Yeah,
good.
even when
They
they
smell-
sweat, they
Yeah,
can't.
they just
They have them and
They
Korean
smell like
people.
jasmine.
Yeah.
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 They don't sweat.
They smell like lavender or the
Because
inside.
they're
of
not
That's a true
they're
thing.
not working. They're not workers.
right.
They're
But
not
even I'm
workers.
saying, even when they exercise, we've seen that at Equinox, whatever, they don't
yeah,
sweat.
but
They don't
that's
smell.
yeah, but it's because they're not bred to be like work. They're like they've kind of always sat at the top.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you were born like your genes are 100% working genes.
Irish trash.
You are a potato monkey.
Yeah.
To the
Trash.
core. Like yeah.
But I'm a good talker, so I could be a corrupt
You're
politician.
a potato monkey in a polo.
Corrupt politician and corrupt. You know, that's the thing. Irish people can talk, but they can never really talk themselves into the elite upper echelons
That's
of
my
society.
question because you
Yeah.
present like a wasp sometimes. You got the polo button
Yeah,
down.
but not really. But I'm too Irish. You can see it. The redness in my face bleeds
Do
out.
they know? I'm saying
They
how,
know. No,
how,
they know.
How fast do they sniff it on you? The potato monkey.
They sniff potato monkey on me. But the thing is, I've always realized about life, barging in the door is the only way to do it, and then there's always going to be a little uncomfortable.
Right.
I go to these private beaches I shouldn't go on. I don't care. I tell Ben, I say, we park here. If you get a ticket, I'll pay for it. It's $150. Who cares? Live a little.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We're just going to park here, and and a lot of times you don't get the ticket. We're just gonna we're gonna get some looks, but at the end of the day, at the other side of those looks is what you want,
And also,
which
at the
is
end
a
of the day,
beautiful beach that you shouldn't be on.
and it's also like.
That's what it is. It's what it
Yeah.
is.
And you make these choices when it's like nobody's going to remember anyway. And
No
nobody's
one
gonna
cares.
Care. You're getting in your own way by your own thoughts. Like just go walk on the beach, or when people are like, "Oh, I'm looking for a bathroom." Just go walk into a bar and use the bathroom. Who cares if
Yes,
you're like,
go walk
you
into
have to go
restaurant.
buy a drink?
I always do it, and then I get on my phone. I do a thing where I go like this.
Yeah.
As I walk out of the restaurant, I go, "Are you here?
Yes.
All right, I'm coming outside to meet you." Always, and then even halfway down the block, I go, "Okay, I'm gonna go now because this is a fake call."
So
Yeah,
how,
that's what
how,
I do that all the time. That's fucking. We were brought up as white trash.
How far do we carry this? Like, do it. Nobody's gonna. We're gonna remember. Like, do you message a girl who's underage online?
What? No, because that's a
Nobody's-
crime.
Do you love her?
Yes, that's my question. If you love her,
Do you love her?
if you love her,
Is she gonna be your wife?
she's gonna be my wife in 13th
No,
century
you don't do
England.
that. You don't break the law. You don't. Morality is very subjective, but we all have personal lines with
Right.
morality.
Right.
We just got to make sure we do that. As
I'm talking about walking onto a beach. I'm talking about walking into a party. I'm talking about demanding the things that other people are getting. You can
Right.
demand them. You don't get them always,
Right.
but you're allowed to demand.
right. So
Yeah.
you can, like, if you're not getting stuff, like, show up with a bunch of your friends in black to your suburban area and bang on those doors and get that fucking Green New Deal. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, but you might get shot in the face.
Yeah,
in
but-
fact, you will.
But you might.
And you should.
You might be able to nominate AOC for the next presidential
No,
primary.
she's not. She's not.
I just want to know
Yeah.
if you're encouraging looting right now.
No, but I
Go
understand.
get what you want, guys.
I understand that it's fun.
What
I
else are
understand that
people
it's
doing?
fun.
It is
Seriously.
very fun. It's
It's very fun, right?
People would not be doing it if it wasn't fun.
It's they burned down a
They're all
Trader Joe's.
19
It's fun.
They're
Yeah.
20, 21, 22-year-old kids. It's like that's what we would do.
They're trying to meet women. This is a joke
Dude,
I do on the
I
thing.
used to, when I was 19, I used to go around with a slingshot. My boy had a slingshot. We would go and we would break bus terminal windows on Francis Lewis Boulevard, and we would just fucking shatter bus terminal windows. If I was a 19-year-old kid right now, I'd be at the protest fucking breaking windows of police precincts.
Dude,
That's
when
what
I
they
was
do.
19, I was fucking lending fucking janitors $800,000 to buy their dream home on Long Island.
And now they're dead in the streets.
So
What? Who cares?
So if I come to you right now, let's go back. You're a mortgage broker in Long Island. I meet you in a diner, which is you call your office.
The Imperial Diner in Freeport,
Yeah, you-
absolutely
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah, you go-
We got to make it real.
Yeah.
So it's the Imperial Diner in Freeport on Merrick Road.
Yeah, you say meet me at the office, and I hear you
Where
hang up.
we'll spill hot coffee on you by mistake and look at you and go.
Yeah. And when you tell me to meet you at your office, I hear the clang of a payphone when you hang up.
Yeah.
And so I meet you at your office. I come in. I say, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Mr. Dillon. Me and my wife just got married. You know, I'm a comedian. I saved up about $80K. You know, she wants to live. We're having a baby.
Here's your
wants to
Mr.
live on the
Pappas.
island. You got
Mr. Pop, I'm very glad.
Can I get a loan?
Not only can you get a loan, but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
How much of that $80K are you prepared to spend on the property?
I don't know, Mr. Dillon. You know, I'm a pretty conservative guy. I saved every single dollar from my more recent shows.
How much are you prepared to spend?
Hold on, let me go into Maurice's brain.
No. Of that $80,000, how much would you like to spend? Are you willing to spend all of it?
I'm willing to spend. I'm willing to spend about 60 or 70 of it.
Mr. Pappas, guess how much of that 80 you're gonna have to spend?
How much?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. You're not gonna spend anything because let me explain something to you. Sit down. The wife is lovely. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah. Wait, can
Mr. Pappas.
Can I get pancakes while I'm here?
Yeah, you could get anything. The bricks and sticks of your house.
Yeah.
Appreciate. The frame, the land. They appreciate and value. You know what your money does in your house for you, Mr. Pappas? It does absolutely nothing. You know what the wealthiest people do with real estate, Mr. Pappas? A lot of them finance it. Why? Because your mortgage is your only tax write-off. It is the only write-off. It is your only fucking weapon against the federal government. The larger the loan you take, the better it is for you financially. And you take that $80,000, and I'm not wrong, by the way, and you put, well, I'm a little, and you put it in tax-exempt securities like Roth IRAs. Mr. Pappas, you maximize the amount of tax-exempt retirement accounts that you put your money in with that $80,000. You make it work for you. You do not sink it into a house. Yes or yes? So the reality is this. We're taking the biggest loan possible. Debt, Mr. Pappas, will set you free. Now sign this piece of paper for Christ. And at that point, you and your wife are crying.
Yeah.
And then we sign papers, and you go die.
But how do you get the loan from the bank? They're giving them away.
Back in the day, what are we doing? We're talking about now or back in the day?
No, back in the day.
Yeah,
Back in the day, I go to the bank. I said, Kelly, we got one. And Kelly, I said, Mr. Pappas and his wife Brittany's from Long Island. They want to go buy a piece of marble hunk of shit. And Kelly has got Coke running down her nose from last night. She's got a fucking double tall non-fat latte from Starbucks non-fat. She's not kidding anyone. And she nails it down and she says, she makes all the paperwork look like it should look. And then my little shitty bank, which was called Franklin First or New World Mortgage or the Mortgage Zone or the Funding Hut or whatever it is, we send our paper to a fucking even bigger and as similarly shitty bank like a Long Beach Mortgage or a New Century Mortgage or an Argent. And those banks were doing backdoor deals with JP Morgan, Citigroup. So those banks were underwriting the paper to the middle grade banks that were lending money to the dirtbag brokerage operating out of a van places that I worked. Okay?
Right.
So when this all, you ever played a game of hot potato?
Yeah, it's an orgy, yeah.
So when everything goes wrong,
You pass it around.
we're passing it around.
Yeah.
And then by the time you sign your mortgage, by the time you get your first bill, because the other benefit, Mr. Pop, is you don't pay for 2 months.
Right.
For 2 months, you don't pay.
But
That's
are you
2
sure I'm going to be able to afford this mortgage? My stand-up comedy career is up and down.
Mr. Pappas, I have watched your stuff. I think you're a genius.
Thank you.
And I think you're an absolute genius. And I will tell you this right now. All you have to worry about right now is what are you going to do with those
I'm just a
two-
little worried. I'm not past the cellar. Am I going to have a future?
You're going to have a cellar in the home that we put you in. All you have to worry about, Mr. Pop, is what are you going to do with those 2 free months? Because we're rolling it into the mortgage. You've got 60 days. I would take a little vacation with this lovely lady.
Are you serious?
2
Because I was concerned I even had enough for the mortgage before this.
2 free months.
What?
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
you're saying free. Am I going to have to pay at some point for this down the line?
We're rolling it into the mortgage, which again, we talked about, it just increases your tax deduction. If you could, Mr. Pappas, you'd take a loan every day.
Honey, I mean,
Every day you would take a loan because the federal government is coming to take your hard-earned money. I am telling you, your ability to fight them is contingent on how big this mortgage is. Take all your credit card debt, all your car loans, everything, student loans, roll it into this, refinance it. Let's take $100,000, $200,000. Let's do it. Let's make it big.
And
Let's do it once and do it right. That's a great line. That's a line one of our guys had. Let's do it once and do it right. And then he'd call them back 8 months later, and they'd go, you said we were going to do it once and do it right. He goes, let's do it twice and do it better. But that's what we need. That's the only way the economy's get. Like, you guys can laugh at that. That's the only way the economy is going to get
On a bubble. On a
retards
You need criminals back.
have to sell things to other retards.
But everything you explained, none of that is criminal at all. It's just
Wow.
Well,
I mean,
I
come
wouldn't
on.
go so far as to say that. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, none of
that?
it was criminal. I didn't really do the criminal shit. The criminal shit was really, and it was just because I'm a pussy. It's not because of morality. The criminal shit really was, well, we did a little criminal stuff. The lying. The people that would go, my cousin owns a car dealership on Northern Boulevard, who's going to say that I've worked there for the last 6 years and made $80 grand a year.
And they look the other way and go, let's approve them for the mortgage.
But by the way, that's kind of soft fraud because the bank it wasn't fake documents. It was literally they were accepting honor system.
Let me ask you this
Which
question.
is crazy.
How did this orgy get started is my first question. My second question is, when did you know it was over? And my third question is, can you compare it to stand-up comedy? 3 questions.
When the orgy got started after, it started two places. It started with the Community Reinvestment Act under the Clinton administration. A lot of things that end up being very bad start with good, positive things. And like, basically, people were saying you got to start expanding.
Like communism.
Right. You got to start expanding lending in minority communities and low-income communities. You got to expand opportunities to credit. People need to be able to finance things, get into the American system. They don't have that opportunity. They're denied by banks all the time. We need to stop that. So Community Reinvestment Act planted the seeds in the heads of Wall Street people and financial industry executives that they needed to come up with products that allowed them to lend to traditionally riskier borrowers that might have had less income, less credit, less whatever. And so what then happened was after 9/11, the economy was in a recession, and Alan Greenspan, they cut rates, Fed cut rates, and then the party started where it was like. Now it was like, hey, get in.
Let's kickstart the economy
Yeah,
by
we're
selling
gonna
some loans.
Yeah, we got to get some houses going on, and then it was a real estate boom, a construction boom, all of these exotic financial products that allowed you to pay 1 or 2%, like a credit card
that's on
minimum
the way again.
payment.
That's on the way.
Sure, some version of that will be on the way.
Yeah.
Those financial products were then bundled up and sold to investment funds. And then people, and we're so interconnected, what really fucked everything was like people's pensions were tied into these funds that were wrapped up with very toxic assets, which was the term, which was bad mortgages. Mortgages given to people that had no ability to repay them. And that's the mortgage-backed security, which was invented by a guy named Lou Ranieri, who's profiled in The Big Short. That was when they decided that mortgages should be traded and sold between banks and investment institutions like stocks. Your bank used to hold your mortgage. So early on, you would go to a mortgage bank and you would have the bank. I mean, so many scenes in old movies are a guy arguing with the banker. It's been rough this month. It's the banker that gave him the mortgage. He knew the guy. It was a very localized thing. I know him. I know his farm. I've been to his farm. I know what he brings in. And then everything got very global, where like I would give you a mortgage and sell it to Hyenas, and then Hyenas would sell it to Pimp, and then Pimp would sell it to Schultz, and then Schultz would sell
Chase would sell your mortgage to Fannie Mae
Correct.
or something. Yeah.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are GSEs, are government-sponsored entities, meaning they're not technically government-controlled, but they're government-sponsored, meaning the government. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are essentially why we have, some stability in the mortgage market, meaning that they back the loans. They, not explicitly, but they ensure that these loans are good, and they protect banks who issue these loans. And Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are, one of the reasons we have a 30-year mortgage. You have a stability over 30 years as a financial instrument. That's kind of unheard of, and it's not common everywhere in the world. It's very uncommon. I mean, a lot of places there's only 10-year notes. A 30-year fixed note is a financial product.
They want you working your
This
whole
is
life
why,
to
like,
pay
the
it back.
libertarians and stuff, when they start talking about, like, oh, the government's always been involved in everything.
Yeah.
The government's allowed all of this to happen. So this idea that, like, you can uncouple from the government is just not realistic. It might have been, I'll give them this, it might have been better to not have the government do all of these things. Sure, academically, great. But the reality is, even just looking at the mortgage market, the reason, and the real great book, if anyone has an interest in this, is written by Bethany McLean, and it's called All the Devils Are Here. And it's about it's from a great Shakespeare play. All the Devils Are Here. Bethany McLean also wrote one of the most influential articles. She's a reporter for Fortune, and she wrote one of the most influential articles that's ever been written in finance, and it was called "How Does Enron Make Its Money?" And it was the first article that kind of pierced the facade of the Enron Corporation.
So that book, All the Devils Are Here, is about what
it's
you're
about
saying.
the mortgage crisis.
Interesting.
So the orgy's going on. Mortgages are going out.
Yeah.
Everyone's pushing the buck, knowing, hey, if this goes down, this goes sour.
So let me tell you a great little story, quick story.
Yeah.
It's about the Bronx.
Yeah.
My dad's home borough.
Yeah, I went to the Bronx. My nanny grew up there. I went to the Bronx, and I was sitting down with a couple.
And whenever your nana did something uncouth, they would just say, oh, she's from the Bronx.
She's from the Bronx. She had a few many Manhattans. She's from the Bronx.
She's from the Bronx.
She's
That
from the
explained
Bronx.
all of her behavior.
She's just from the Bronx.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's from the Bronx. She didn't mean to say what she said to the black cleaning lady.
Yeah. I mean, it's a true story.
She's from the Bronx.
She's from the Bronx.
So I went to the Hooks. The Hooks lived up the block from the Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx. Montefiore Medical Center. And this is what greed can do to people. The Hooks lived in a shithole. The Hooks had fly strips, cats, garbage people, real monsters.
Right.
I sat down with them. The guy said to me, Montefiore Medical Centers tried to buy my house every year. Last year, it was $900,000. The year before that, it was $8. The year before that, it was $7. And I said, listen, man. And he goes, next year, it's $1 million. I'm going to take it at $1 million. I said, okay. And I said, let me ask you a question, because this is kind of an allegory for the whole thing. I said, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between 900 and $1 million? He goes, $1 million is just $1 million. He goes, I've never been a millionaire. I mean, these people are garbage. But I said, you know what you could do with 900 grand? Down to Florida. Get a beautiful home. I mean, the things you could do with $900,000. He goes, but I just want to die a millionaire. He's a guy that never had anything. Next year, Montefiore Medical Center decided to expand in the other direction and not his block. And the offer was over. And they lost their house.
Wow.
Because they couldn't afford it anymore. So that's what it comes down to. I think a lot of it, that's an allegory. Here's a guy with nothing.
Right.
That wanted this ceremonial number.
Right.
And gave up all of the fucking money and made the worst decision over and over again, year after year. They tried to get it for 3 years until they got fed up and said, fuck it. We'll just do the other block and we'll put a building on that block.
I was going to say, like a story like that, I bet you look in that guy's life, and that was one of the many
bad
horrible decisions he's made because, it's just a pattern in people. It's like, it just happens that way where you're like, okay, you've constantly blamed everybody else for all these things when you've constantly been the only one in your way ever.
Yeah.
So it's like, as soon as you were telling that story, I was like, oh, I bet you that guy has been an idiot his whole life. But again, it's not his fault. Whose fucking father's probably an idiot. It's just all the same shit, man.
Yeah.
It's all like,
but wait, how is that an allegory for what happened? Depends on who you blame more.
Here's what it is.
Was it more predatory lending?
It's like Joan Rivers said on that episode of Louie, know when you're lucky.
Yeah.
Know when you're lucky. There's this idea and our economy is built on this model of perpetual growth.
right.
Everything's got to be bigger and bigger and bigger. The house has got to be
America,
bigger.
yeah.
The pool's got to be deeper. The yard has got to be bigger. The den has got to be bigger.
You got to know when to hand. You got to know when to. You got to know when to cash in.
It's the disease of more.
Right.
The disease of more.
Right.
And it was those Wall Street guys weren't poor before they started slinging these things. They weren't poor, but they got, in the last 10 to 15, 20 years, people in that line of work have gotten astronomically wealthy.
Sure.
A level of wealthy that most people don't understand. I'm talking about many of them are earning $1 billion in a calendar year or over $100 million in a calendar year.
Right.
Not 30 million, not $1 million a month, not $2 million a month, not $5 million a month. We're talking in cases 20, 30 million dollars a month. The guys at the top of those institutions, they've become so fucking dislocated from the city. There is a real fucking problem with that type of money.
So on the deepest level, it was the disease of more on the side of those who were getting the loans and on the side of people who were giving the loans.
Correct.
Right.
It's
Gotcha.
all across the board.
It's the American dreams.
And I knew it was over when I was in a diner. In the same diner, I said to the waiter, I said, hey, my order at the diner is always mozzarella sticks. Also, I'd like a grilled cheese with turkey because I'm turning over a new leaf.
And then I asked the waitress, where's the closest Carvel?
Yeah. Grilled cheese with turkey and tomato. I'm turning over a new leaf. I didn't say bacon. I said turkey. Now, let me ask you a question. If bacon goes in a sandwich with the turkey, coleslaw, French fries, lightly cooked. But don't burn them. Don't give me the excuse that people aren't paying attention in there. So I said to the waiter, he goes, what do you guys do? I said, I do mortgages. He goes, what a coincidence. I do mortgages. And then the guy that was handing me my mozzarella sticks took out a card from his top pocket and put it on the diner table. And that's kind of the way I felt, about a year or a year and a half ago in comedy when everyone you knew was a comedian.
Yeah.
The problem is when everybody, it's the secret's out. It's like, you ever go to a good restaurant?
So that's when you knew it was over, when everyone was getting in.
Yeah, well, you ever
when
go
it
to
got oversaturated.
Let me use a food example, which I don't talk about food a lot. You go to a good restaurant, it's great. Then you cruise by it on a Saturday night, and it's jammed. And you go, I hope in a year from now we don't end up going back and going, this place sucks. But a lot of times that happens. A lot of times when it's the secret place and they're on the come up, they're on the rise, everything's great. But when it explodes and everybody's in and everybody's got their hand in the trough, then all of a sudden people start making stupid decisions. They start making bad decisions. And the people start making decisions that are nowhere near the actual decisions. Which is why communism and all these isms don't work, is because people are making decisions from 30,000 feet about disciplines they have no fucking idea about how they actually work. Right?
Right.
So when the government just goes, hey, find a way to lend to low-income people, and Wall Street goes, we got it, the government has no idea what's about to happen.
Right.
And then the ones that kind of have an inkling just keep their mouths shut because things are good. Bush goes, 70% of Americans own homes. Trump has done nothing but extend what Obama did, which is extend what Bush did, which is essentially just tell people to put it all on a credit card. That's just the whole thing. The economy is just on a card. We'll think about it later. I mean, we owe, what is it, 20 trillion?
At
China?
this point, it's you don't.
It's
the
fake
number,
now.
You can't even say the number anymore.
Yeah.
It's not an
They got to
existable
think
number.
of a new word in the English language to describe the amount.
The economy is just on the card. It's on layaway. It's like,
how does that
interest rates are
How
going to
does
have.
that? What happens when that culminates? Where does that end? As all things end, what happens? How do we reconcile?
I mean,
that?
inflation is where it ultimately leads to the devaluing of the dollar not being the world's reserve currency, our debt rating getting trashed to we're not a good debtor anymore.
So that means we're
Losing
over as an empire.
Yeah, AAA bond rating and all that. Yeah, that's where it leads. And then it just leads to...
what you're talking about there is the actual rotting of the infrastructure of the empire.
Correct, yeah, correct.
That's inevitable.
Our inability to service our debt, our inability to, basically print the kind of money that we've been printing to keep everybody off the streets, which hasn't worked.
This is when you become a bad earner in the mafia and you get whacked.
You can become a bad earner. Yeah,
we're
you become a bad earner
right now. We're
Yeah.
a bad earner. We got a lot of
It's
debts.
when somebody in the mafia movie starts looking at a picture of you from the good times with a sadness in their face.
Yeah.
They take a picture, they look at you when you guys all went to like Aruba and you went, that was fun.
He used to earn.
That's
he
where
used to
we're
be good.
that's where we're getting to.
He's got a lot of debts now. We don't know how to really get him out
But
of this.
I think business is coming. It could be weed, it could be prostitution. I think you got to legalize weed, legalize prostitution. Day one of Biden or Trump's new administration, whores are in, weed is in. We do not have a choice.
Jumpstart the economy, baby.
We don't have a choice.
And also, I think this is a good time for a new type of fuel.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like, even if,
Well,
let's
sure.
just say global warming's not real, fuck it, create a new industry. Even if global warming is a fake thing, this is a good time to just start a new type of, charge things with Chris's farts. Whatever it is, the industry,
Whatever it
they
is.
just create jobs around those
Right.
farts and let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, even do
Or start a podcast, boom.
Yeah.
And then we can do, there should be
Well, we've done
podcasts
that.
about,
That's happened.
yeah, we're doing that now. But what hasn't happened yet is the podcast about podcasts. There needs to be a podcast about a review of Tim Dillon's last podcast.
What I think's
that would be happening.
what'll happen soon is I think podcasts are all going to be visual. I think everything's going to be a show.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be...
Which gives the advantage to guys like us and not
It's going to be a
Chris.
show.
Yeah.
It's going to be a show. Why?
Because it's visual, and we're a couple of fucking pieces to look at, and Chris not so much.
100%. But here's the reality. Chris has these old school good looks. That's not even in anymore. Everyone's a fat pig now. Everyone has face tattoos. Everyone has gross hair.
That's a good point.
It really is a reality.
Yeah.
They're just goons. I mean, you sit in Boa's Steakhouse in L.A., all those kids are millionaires. I mean, all the Little Xan, Post Malone, they all look like they got hit with rakes, but they're doing great. It's just a new reality.
No, it's true.
Cuzzy, I'm really excited about our next sponsor. I've been using them when I go to the gym that's not there and when I do push-ups in my living room.
Yeah.
Raycon headphones.
Raycon headphones, they're dope. I've went to buyraycon.com/hyenas. I've went there myself, buyraycon.com/hyenas, and I've gotten 50% off, 15% off. Sorry, 50% off would be Merry Christmas, but 15% off is amazing. Buyraycon.com/hyenas. Go there, get your Raycons. There's, I think, Ray J himself. They're named after Ray J.
Melissa Etheridge uses them.
Brandy's brother.
Yeah.
Who I love Brandy. I love Ray J. I like a lot of things about Ray J. Some things that he's done in the daytime, something he's done at the nighttime. I like everything about Ray J. And I've went to buyraycon.com/hyenas a few times myself. And I gotta be honest with you, man. I gotta be honest. When I'm running or jogging or doing yoga or listening to a podcast and I have those Raycon headphones in, my ears just feel so cute. They feel so woke. They feel so dope, and I'm all about them.
Where are they?
No, don't worry about it.
I want to put them in my ears.
But okay. Yanni wants to put them in his ears.
Yeah.
So Yanni, and so Yanni's going to put these in, and you got to understand how small Giannis's head is, and they fit perfectly. So it's one size fits all. Look at how beautiful Yanni's ears look when he's got those Raycon headphones in. Okay? And their newest product is the Everyday E25 earbuds, and they are the best ones yet. They have 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass and more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. Giannis cannot hear me right now because the noise has been canceled out, so he's just dancing and bopping with his Raycon earbuds. I hate you. I hate you.
I'm listening to the Wepa theme song. Wepa!
Buyraycon.com/hyenas. Get 15% off. Buyraycon.com/hyenas.
Finally, cuz sports are back.
They're back.
And I just made a little money because I was predicting, hopefully, that Djokovic was going to hit a judge in the throat with a tennis ball. It was a very specific bet, and I won it.
Yeah, and you freaking won it. So what you're going to do now is go to MyBookie and use the promo code Hyenas, HYENAS. And if you put in, let's say, $60, they're going to match it. So you're going to get $120 to bet. So they're going to match any bet you do. If you go to MyBookie and use the promo code Hyenas, they're going to bet. Like I this morning was like, you know what I want to bet on? I bet you that Odell Beckham Jr. likes to get poop on his chest. And guess what, baby? It came out today that OBJ likes to get pooped on his chest. And please welcome the Cleveland Steamers to the field.
Guys, you could bet on any sport, anything. MyBookie.ag is the website. Go, enter that promo code. Bet on, because I want to, there's got to be, you could bet on anything?
You could bet on whatever the hell you want to bet on. Football, baseball, basketball, coin flips. I mean, how low do you want to go?
Look, let's just be honest. There's 3 levels of enjoying sports.
Right.
One of them is you're just a sport fan and you're watching the sport.
Right.
The second one is you're watching the team that you love, so you're emotionally invested.
Yeah.
The third and best one is you got a little scratch on, you got a little juice on the game.
You got a little juicy on the game. Because MyBookie promo code Hyenas, they're going to match your bet. Let's do it. You could parlay to parlay, do whatever the hell you want. The winning seasons are back at MyBookie. Yeah.
Come on. It's been really hard with COVID. We could all use a little fucking adrenaline rush. So let's go. I got 50 on the fucking football season.
Yeah, I got a hundo that says China already's got the vaccine because they made the virus. New customers can sign up with promo code Hyenas to double their deposit and receive an instant cash bonus. Survivor Street contest begins week 2 of the NFL season. Make bets against the spread every week until you go bust. Only $5 re-entry. 100%.
Yeah.
But I think a podcast will be just another way to consume a show. And History Hyenas will be a show. Tim Dillon Show's a show. And the podcast will just be the audio format of the show.
Now, when you when you get a couple sticks,
Yeah.
and I know you want a couple fucking sticks.
I want a little bit of money to
Yeah,
just
when you
survive.
Would you smoke cigars or
No,
no?
I
I
just
have a
smoke
cigarette every
cigar,
now and
yeah.
then.
I mean, the straight act only goes so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can hang out with him and none of your boys will know he's gay.
Right.
But at the end of the night, I'm going to smoke a stick with Paul Verzi. He's going to check out.
Yeah.
He's going to check out a Tina Turner musical. It's
Well,
no,
yeah, no, I want to listen to Hyenas and Verzi tell me about the business. Please tell me how to succeed, both of you. Yeah, but listen, my dad loves cigars. It's a straight guy thing.
Right.
I think gay guys should leave cigars alone.
why is that?
Because straight guys gotta have some.
Yeah, you got to leave
Gotta
us
have
something.
some.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, when you get the couple sticks,
Yeah.
you get a couple fucking sticks. How many when you're ready to walk away? How many sticks? And then I want to know, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to restaurants and
wanna
yell at
open a
people who are
restaurant.
doing things wrong?
I want to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
I want to open a restaurant. And I'm 35. If I live to around 50 in 15 years, I want to open a restaurant. I want to own a small
You'd have a great
20 or
joint.
30 table spot, little garden out back, whatever bullshit. I want an outdoor and an indoor. Maybe throw 10 or 15 tables in the back, 20 tables in the restaurant, 8 appetizers, 10 entrees. I have those numbers are kind of maybe 1 or 2 either way. Seasonal new American steaky seafood, killer steak on the menu, killer seafood, really good.
You have a little
Inspired by my
tiramisu?
life.
Little tiramisu or
Nah,
no?
we don't have we were not gonna have donkey food.
Now, at the
But-
beginning, are you going to have the waiter come by with a slab of butter and just
No,
throw it on
that's-
whatever?
we went to one of my uncle's restaurants and it was. I'm glad you guys came for that.
Is that
Because
closed now, by the way, for good?
They're all not open except I think one of them, Quality Italian, open.
And they're never opening again.
No, they'll open again.
Yeah.
But they just don't know when. No one knows.
Right.
But de Blasio said indoor dining might not return till spring of 2021.
There you go. Way to go, fucking Dillon.
yeah.
Say goodbye to our gorgeous city.
I think there's
right.
one thing that the right and left agree on right now. It's like they hate Bill de Blasio, and I think the right and the left are coming together on that Sean King is a white man.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're talking about that now?
Oh, the right and left.
But
it's
he's
like all
another
over
guy.
Twitter. He's just a
Talcum Max, they
white
call him.
man.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, and he's another guy who just didn't know when to just fold him.
Too big. Yeah, he
You
just got too big.
He
Yeah.
got too big, yeah.
People started looking into his story. His story is
So
why
what is
he,
his story? What is the conspiracy? Is he a white guy?
Yeah, we did a whole episode on him,
can't
yeah.
help. I'm developing a personality. I've been obsessed with him. I'm developing an
Where does a
impersonation.
guy like that live?
He's from.
These
know where he
people, to
lives.
me, they always live on Twitter. I don't think any of them are real.
He lives in.
I don't think he's real. I think he's a Russian troll farm.
Well, no, dude.
Created Sean
That's what I've
King.
been saying. I've been seeing even some people.
What a weird name.
I know, even people who post like DMs of like horrible messages they've received, calling them this name and that name. I'm like, I don't even believe that that's real.
Right.
I believe that's some Russian troll is something that's just causing division.
Right.
And you're right. I never thought about that. Has anyone physically ever seen Sean King?
I mean,
in the
really,
flesh?
truly.
Right.
It's a good question.
Truly.
And who knows?
He's probably been on a TV show, but I don't
Yeah,
even
who
believe that.
knows?
Hologram.
He was born in Versailles, Kentucky, which is like a small town.
That's how he talks?
Yeah,
And aren't the
It's
photos
a pretty
are the-
good impersonation
is
as
the
well.
conspiracy that he's white?
No, the conspiracy. Yeah, well, here's the story.
Well, no, he is white. It's
Yeah.
not, I mean, it's a fact.
Wait a minute.
Sometimes.
Hold on.
It's not even a conspiracy.
Well, here, I'll tell you the story. Sometimes things get so funny to me, like, I don't know why, and it's me. Nobody else thinks it's funny.
Right.
And the Sean King, for some reason, has gotten so funny, I can't handle. I can't handle. I go and watch his interviews. I listen to him speak. It's because, like, once you see the sociopathy, how
Yeah.
am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Sociopathy.
Yeah.
It's like, it becomes funny. So here's
Right.
the story. He was born, his mother's white. His brothers are white.
white,
They're
white.
white. They're white people.
Like her name's Barbara.
Yeah,
or
they're
something.
from a suburb of Louisville called Versailles, Kentucky.
Right.
Now, so he was brought up. He never had anyone in his family black that he knew, at all.
Yeah.
There was never
I
anyone
mean, his
black
brothers
around.
look like Duck Dynasty.
They're all
Like,
white.
It's crazy.
His
with beards and
family's
everything.
white. Anyone he's ever known is white. So, according to him, I'm going to tell you his story. So, according to him, and he gave his story. According to him, he was, he found out at about 9 years old that his mom was having sex with a lot of guys. One of those guys was, as he quote put it, a really light-skinned black guy. So I like that he qualified it too as like a really light-skinned black guy. You know, it's like why wouldn't you say
Right.
with an average? So his mom had sex with a really light-skinned black guy, and that was him. And the reason why the father on
He
his
looks a little black, no?
well, he really trims it up nice.
Right,
So I can show you a picture of my friend Mark Herstein, who looked really black too when he was 15.
Right, it's a good point.
Yeah,
You could look black.
you could do it up.
Right.
So on his birth certificate, his father, it was found out, is white, and he's named after that father, Jeffrey Sean King. He's called Sean because they didn't want to have any confusion between the Jeffreys in the household. So he was raised by a white family. His father on his birth certificate's white. The story is his mom had some sort of secret affair, didn't tell anyone, banged a really light-skinned black guy, told him about it at some point. She just felt she did it in secret, but then told him at 9 years old, guess what? I fucked the black guy who's your dad. You're a black guy now. Go become a black guy. It's like, so that happened. So then...
Now, why are people getting mad at him?
Because he took
Rachel Dolezal.
He took it's because he decided like he said that he was a victim of the first hate crime in Kentucky's history. First hate crime. He was beat up by 30. Rachel Dolezal also said she was getting sent this hate mail. It was found out she was sending it to herself. She's also very funny.
Who beat Sean King up, supposedly?
So supposedly like 30 rednecks with steel tip boots and stuff like that. So then they did some reporters over at the great reputable Breitbart, admittedly, not the New York Times or what the New York Times used to be. They went and found that there's no hate crime on record of that. And the thing that they do have police record of is a fight between him and another student. He said he couldn't walk for like a year. His back was broken. He was in the hospital. He missed a lot of school. No missing school in his record. His mom drove him home from the hospital. He had cuts and bruises.
He's a pathological liar.
Yeah,
but he's clinically insane, and it's just being celebrated. It's wild.
That's what's being great. So then, there's no proof of anything he says. In fact, there's proof to the contrary. The only thing that supports the fact that his dad might be a really light-skinned black guy is his story. Because then further, he takes a scholarship from Oprah and goes to Morehouse, a scholarship that's not specifically set up for black people, but he's the only non-black person, if he's not black, to get it. Right. It's for people who are underprivileged, who have good grades. So he takes it, he goes to Morehouse, he becomes a black activist, and what he's accused of is sort of lying about who he is, capitalizing on the black struggle for gain and fame and things like that, and making a name for himself, highlighting one certain type of tragedy, and selling it and pimping it. As soon as there's a police shooting, he's the first to post it on his Facebook page to make himself great. Now, what I love about sociopaths, if he is a sociopath, is they're very clever, or psychopaths, very clever at picking positions where you would have a hard time critiquing them. Nobody ever critiques a priest. You call him father,
Right.
It's like, so if you're an actual psychopath, you gravitate, cops, they gravitate to these positions where whatever their thing is to feed their psychopathic needs, which are also funny to me, they're gonna be able to get away with it for a long time because nobody's gonna question it.
Right.
Nobody's ever gonna question a black activist who seems to be doing all this good work.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, you can kind of make an argument is doing a lot of good work.
Right.
But then when you find out when he's not who he says he is.
What are people mad at him for recently?
They're mad at him about a lot of fundraising stuff. He does, every time something happens, he's going, hey, we're doing this fundraiser for Tamir Rice, so y'all know.
Where does that money go?
That's the problem. Is
That's
like
the issue.
They're saying, and he's saying, I never,
Because if you want to help the black community and say you're black when really you're white, but you're helping, who cares? It's when you start that's great, but it's when you start taking the money. Same thing with Dolezal. You start taking scholarships and things away from blacks. That's an issue.
Or if you just if you're misrepresenting who you are, you're lying. That's an indication of who you are.
And it's also like, it's tough to, if you're just starting off with a lie, it's a little bit like, I don't know, dude. I don't even know if I want to donate.
I think it's like strange that I think for a while guys like him are seen as a net positive. And then what happens is they become a net negative. And it's a tipping point. And eventually he says all the right things. He takes all the right positions. He's a net positive. At a certain point, the fundraising and all the other things start to happen. He becomes a net negative, and then they abandon him. This is what happens with a lot of people that are style themselves as activists, In the beginning,
so he got a little too greedy. If he got out,
little too greedy, little too big, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So the idea is that if something's out in the open, out in the air, and people know about it, it's harder and harder and harder to ignore. And I think with a guy like Sean King, a lot of things you have to ignore.
Right.
So if you can ignore them, it's okay. When they become impossible to ignore, like in the sense where people go, where the fuck is my money? Then you start going, you start opening the fucking...
You start going, by the way, also, you're not white.
By the way, also,
yeah.
your entire...
You're not black, yeah.
Narrative and your identity has been curated and crafted to be this thing. And like, you've piggybacked on this movement and it becomes a problem.
Wouldn't it be fun if the world becomes sort of like a game? Maybe it's for the simulators where we all got a secret or something to hide, and it's all about which one of us can just get to the finish line without it being discovered.
I think that's partially... yeah. It's partially what it is, but I think that look at Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
Right. I was about to say you're on fucking notice, Tim Dillon.
I know, I'm dead
it's
naming.
Caitlyn.
But we have to speak about this. It's amazing. If he had this burning desire to be a woman his entire life, which I'm not doubting at all, it is amazing that he was able to be as successful as he was in the wrong body, and then he became this woman. It's a fascinating thing. That fascinates me. More power to him. Good for him. No issue with it at all. But it's interesting. We have to live in a world where we can say that's interesting. We have to live in a world where we go, that is an interesting thing. And I feel bad that he had to live in the wrong body for years and years and years. And I'm not doubting that it was the wrong body.
You better not be doubting it.
I'm not doubting
You better not be fucking doubting
Here's
it.
my only
Not
point.
on this podcast. Not on this podcast.
Here's what I'm saying.
Do not fucking soil this podcast
Here's what
with
I'm
your
saying.
questions about its motivations. He was a little girl while he
know.
was doing those triathletes.
I know.
And this society.
I'm just saying, it's interesting. I'm allowed to use the word interesting.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
I'm just saying it's interesting because it's like, fuck, wow, I get it. I get that people can live. I lived many lies. I get it. And I'm hopefully will live many more. But, it's interesting. Like you said, it's like Bruce Jenner almost got to the finish line, but then he realized his truth was Caitlyn. Caitlyn realized her truth was Caitlyn. It's so hard to have this conversation without seeming...
You're trying, and that's
Your
why...
fans don't give a fuck.
No,
though.
They don't care.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
our
care, which is
fans
beautiful.
do, and you're trying, and we appreciate that.
Do your fans skew a little left or no?
No, they skew
No.
right.
Right.
Yeah, I would say just
I don't
the
think you're a
opposite.
fan skew left.
Yeah.
I have both. I have Antifa and the Proud Boys.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
far left and far right.
Yeah.
Everybody on my fan base wants to burn it all down.
Yeah, I
is
think
great.
I think to be honest with you, we have a real eclectic mix. We get both.
We do, yeah.
And we don't have so many radicals that listen to us.
I've got a lot of radicals.
Yeah.
Lot
Which
of
is great.
radicals.
Yeah.
They spend money.
They spend money.
Yeah, they spend money, but then sometimes you might get to a point where you're like Stanhope, where I hate my fans.
Well,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna hate their fans,
Yes,
right?
we all
that's
do.
just kind of what happens.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Like you said, we said no end to up, and it's that disease of more. You're like,
Yeah.
I wanted these
Yeah.
fans what I wanted, and then it gets to a point where you're like, you get bored of it or whatever it is.
Is it wrong though? Even if it was a choice that he made, is it wrong that our
No.
kids are going to grow up in a world where, if they want to change at a certain point, if they just kind of get bored,
Yeah.
and they just go, you know what? I fucking had it with being Hyenas. It's time to be Yana. Is that a problem?
Well, I think...
Part of me wants to switch.
I don't think it's a problem. I think if kids are doing it when they're little, that might be an issue because they don't know yet.
Right.
Yeah, if you're
who
a
they
certain
are.
age...
But
I think if you're a parent and you're going to allow your 8-year-old to get a sex change,
Problem.
You have to get it too.
That's a
That's
problem.
just what I would say. You also have to
I
get
agree.
it too.
yeah, I mean,
And by the way,
You all three.
and
you
by the
gotta get
way, they will. Don't make that the standard because they will.
They'll get it because that's how psychotic
Yeah,
they are.
because they'll
I
be the
mean,
most popular mom and daughter
I want to
team
support
in Portland.
Yeah, I want to support everything my little daughter is going to do, but I have to admit that will be a little complicated and challenging a little bit if she starts saying, "Stop calling me Gianna. From now on, I'm G Dog.
Yeah,
Call me G."
I'm
Because
Giannis.
they always start with an acronym.
Is that
It's
what
like when they
is
switch.
that, are you going to name her? What are you going to name her?
I'm going to name her Gianna. Her name's
Gianna.
Gianna. Yeah,
Very
her name
pretty.
is Gianna. Yeah. And
I hope she becomes G Dog.
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be
I
great.
hope she starts.
That'd be great.
She's
Imagine
saying,
that she's
refer
the
to me
new.
as
She's on the
G-Dog.
podcast.
she's going to have a great life. I'm going to invite you guys up to the
Yeah.
compound, right? You're She's gonna sit on Uncle Timmy's lap. Uncle
Yeah.
Timmy's gonna tell her about the ways of mortgaging in the world.
Yeah.
The first time he ever met my daughter, he tried
Yeah.
to sell her a pool.
Yeah.
As
Swear to
soon as he
God,
walked
yeah.
in, he was like, I got a beautiful in-ground
Well,
pool.
I told her, I said, your father's making a little coin, but let's be honest, you got to start getting proactive with him. And let's start, if you want to call me to few his bank account numbers, let's do some experiments and we'll make him happy.
Yeah, my
We'll
daughter's
just
sitting there
make him money.
My daughter's sitting there with Elsie and Anna dolls like that. It was great.
By the way, it was either that or talk to, who was at that party?
Fucking Chris Farley's brother.
Yeah, I was like, let's move on. I like Kevin Farley. Very
No,
sweet
I
guy.
like Kevin Farley.
We love
too.
you, Kevin. Kidding.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he's not
yeah.
watching this. Kevin.
Yeah, I hope not. He might be.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
really?
so many rats there now. Everyone's always
What's
like,
he doing instead? A movie? The point.
I like Kevin Farley.
I like him too.
no, he's
Dating
great,
my friend.
great. And his wife's great too.
Yeah, Crazy Michelle.
Crazy Michelle.
Yeah,
Oh, Crazy
they're
Michelle's
not married
hilarious.
yet, but
Yeah,
yeah,
she'll definitely check this
I
out.
called her the other day. I said, she goes, I'm on a boat in Florida. I said, what are you doing for BLM? She goes, I don't even know what it is. She starts laughing.
She felt bad for Harvey Weinstein.
yeah,
Yeah.
she goes, I feel horrible for Harvard.
She also
Gomez came last night to Stress Factory. We were talking about how crazy Michelle is.
Yeah.
Just a con artist, a true con artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her whole
Which is
life.
great.
Yeah.
She came
yeah.
in
But I
me-
respect that.
Yeah.
Me and Tim were taping a podcast episode of his in the hotel. She
Yeah.
came in with a gift for him.
Yeah.
And it was
A re-gifted,
It was an
so obvious.
obviously
So
re-gifted
obvious.
gift.
She gave us a midriff. I was a sweater. It was my
It was
midriff.
like a size medium
Yeah.
sweater.
There's a medium for like Bergdorf Goodman. I'm like, let's get real. I don't fit in anything at Bergdorf Goodman except the door.
And then when you told her it was you accused her jokingly
Yeah.
that it was a re-gift.
She flew off the handle.
She flew off the handle and
Which
got
is
very
what
upset.
guilty people do.
It's called
innocence seldom shrieks.
Right.
Guilt does.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's called thou doth protest too much.
Correct.
Right. Right.
funny.
But it was funny that she came. Now, do you credit someone for the effort? Re-gift is a gift. Is a re-gift better than no gift?
Yeah, no, because it's
Or is it a
'cause
smack in
now
the face?
I don't want a medium shirt. I can't fit in it. Now I have this problem
Right.
of having to pretend to be happy about it.
Right.
Just come in and sit down and be fun.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
I don't need a medium shirt
Right.
Right.
Now, why did she do that?
because
Why did she bring you a gift?
people are insane. People
Right.
do insane things.
There was no reason for it.
There's no thought.
You were going to
behind-
be her friends either way.
There's no thought behind it.
You think she was just trying to unload the shirt?
She said, let me get rid of the shirt. I kill two birds with one stone. I'll go to the Carlisle. I'll get rid of the shirt, and my friend will think I got him a gift,
Right.
which is clearly untrue.
Now,
Nothing could have been further from the truth.
what I like about you is if someone did that to a normal person, they would go like, you know what? I don't think I want to hang out with that person
No, I
anymore.
like her
'cause-
more.
But
I
you,
would've been-
you go the other way. You
I
go,
respect her more for that than a real gift.
Yeah, now you're going like, now I'm in even more.
Because somebody said a quote once that I really related to. They go, I don't do things for the moral of the story. I do them for the story.
Right.
You see? It's got to be fun. It's got to be fun.
You
And
want
she's
it to
a
be
lot
fun.
of fun.
You want it to be
Gotta
fun.
be fun.
Right.
Because guess what? Cocaine was fun.
Right.
Sure.
So if I'm not going to do that, I got to have fun.
Right.
It's got to be fun.
Right.
I look at so many people that are so much more successful than me, but they don't have any fun.
Yeah, like
Right.
it was fun. Like we're walking today in Bay Ridge. It's a beautiful hot day. We walk past Carvel. I said, "You want to jump in there?" And Timmy says, "No, I got to be good." And then we get about 5 more feet. He says, "Let's go hit the Carvel."
It's a
So
little
we went
cock.
right back in, and
But
you
it's
know
for
what?
the
It was-
economy.
And guess what? It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun to eat that.
It was fun. It's
I
fun to eat
loved
that
it.
because for the economy, the people are going to be on the street.
Yeah.
So and all these
you were
people
just kicking a little money
These
back
people
to
say, oh, somebody got corona, they can't run marathons anymore. Good, fuck them. What does them running marathons do for the economy? I go out to eat twice a day. Let's get real. Let's stop pretending that the American economy is not fueled by running.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, dude. Yeah, no, it's.
Should I take the 20 minutes I'm doing a Stress Factory on Corona and just put it on YouTube as a Corona special? Because I'm probably not going to do another show before
Yes.
next year.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Because who gives a shit?
Do it. You got to do it now, and plus, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Right.
do it.
I mean,
would say
last
put it
time I
out.
did stand-up, I've done stand-up once in 6 months, and I swear to God, it was like I didn't care. I did like maybe 3 minutes of jokes, and the rest of it was just talking. I don't care. It was fun. The crowd
know.
loved it just as much.
Right.
I'm in shape because of the podcast.
Yeah.
I tested out some ideas that became bits that I forgot.
Right.
It really feels like Bar 4 is back, and that's
Yeah.
the norm, and I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do 40 minutes. It'll go bad or go good. You know me from the podcast or you don't. You had a good time or you don't. See me next Wednesday when we record. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's just,
Right.
I'm
I
talking.
would 100% put that 20 minutes out on Corona special. It's a great
The,
idea.
the
Fucking do
world
it.
moves too quick now. I mean, what are you going to do? Fucking polish it up and wait till next year to put it out?
Right.
Corona's going to last 10 more minutes.
I agree.
Until, at least to the economy, until the Democrats. Till
November 4th.
Yeah, until they stop pretending
Yeah, I
it's a
just
real real thing.
Care. I just don't care anymore. I think I could get some views.
Put it out, and I'm sure it's
Yeah,
going to be
put it out.
hilarious. Yeah, anything you put up now.
And
is
also
getting views.
do some blow for the story.
No, I can't.
Just fall back for the
What
story.
happens
You
when
know why?
If you did the blow, it
Yeah.
would. You think you'd be dead in a year, kind of thing.
no,
like it would
it's not even fun anymore. Actually, it doesn't look good anymore.
Right.
Drinking doesn't look good. Marijuana, smoking weed doesn't look good.
Now, how did you get to that point where you don't? Where
Your
you,
body turns off. If you listen to your body turns off. Your body just goes like anxiety. I would just get anxious. I'd start having a panic attack. I'd be like, am I dying? Does this have fentanyl
You know
in
what's
it?
interesting?
it's
I'm
just
feeling-
not fun.
I feel
you
that-
got to do drugs when you're young so you don't think about any of those things.
I feel
That's
that-
the reality.
I-
There's a time to smoke weed, and it's not in your 30s. Sorry. That's the most controversial thing I've ever said.
No, it's-
You can't relive everything. You can't go to summer camp as an adult. I never went to camp. I always regretted it. I said to my father, why can't we go to camp? Because it's for Jews. But what he really meant is I have no money. And I've always regretted it because every kid growing up has great camp stories, right? I didn't have those stories. But it is what it is. You don't do it as an adult. You don't go to Disney World when you're 30 with no kids.
Right.
You just say to yourself, I missed out on Disney World. I'm sorry. I'm going to be an adult.
I feel like that. I feel like that way with like with girls too. It's like it's not a good look. Once you start to, I'm 36 now. It's like once I start to approach 40, it's like, do you want to be the guy that's banging all these women still? You don't want that at all. It's like, do you want a relationship or not? Because it's like at some point it's just like, yeah, how much more are you going to deal with this?
Right.
I feel that way. Who the fuck knows?
well, there you have it. I mean, do it for the story, not for the moral.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Do a little blow when you're young enough to recover.
You have to do things when you're young. You should smoke pot when you're young. You should do it when you're 17. You should do it when it's really fun. When you're laughing your ass off, you're going through the drive-thru at Taco Bell, you're on the beach. That's when you take mushrooms.
Even like the heat and the sun, I feel like that's when you're young. It's like, what are you going to the
Dude,
beach
it's
for?
all when you're
My
sun.
friends are going to the beach still. It's like, shut up.
Dude, you do
Just
it right.
get inside in the air conditioner.
Dude,
Keep your shirt on.
I do it at the beach. I do 30 minutes.
Yeah, get
the
off.
beach. You go in the water for a little bit. Maybe throw down a towel. Maybe get a chair. You do 10, 15 in a chair. You get it. You get it. You go, I get it. And then you're in the car and it's over. And then guess what? You feel like you went to the beach.
Yes, I don't need to fucking have a full day at the beach anymore.
No.
I don't want to.
No. Also talking to your family. It doesn't have to happen for more than 2 minutes every
Doesn't
week.
have to happen
Dude, I
that
went to.
much.
I
2 minutes a
love.
week,
I
yeah.
love rides and roller coasters. I went to Hershey Park last week with my daughter and family, and I found myself. I got on one ride, and I was like, "What am I doing? Why am I on this thing?" I was like, "Let me just do that." And then I went on all the rides with my daughter and watched my daughter do all the things I was doing when I was a kid, and I was driving back as excited and happy as I was when I was a 9-year-old. Used to be on the rides by watching
Right.
somebody else do it.
Right.
You know.
We've done it all. There's only one thing left to do. That's
Joe Rogan.
No, get COVID.
Oh.
Let's get COVID for the story.
COVID. We've probably already had it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get
you know.
COVID. Prostitution, weed, that Tim Dillon 2020. When are you running? Who knows?
Who knows?
If you do, when are you going to run for president of Legion of Skanks? The people want to know.
Yeah, no. I'll run for president of 2 dope queens first.
Who are you voting for president of Legion of
It's
Skanks?
over.
Or she
Ari
feel what?
won.
And who do you think
I
had
was supporting Lewis.
who do you think had the best campaign strategy? Was it Ari who drugged Jay?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Ari engaged in what I would imagine was an interference-based campaign.
Right.
I thought Lewis has done the most to really build that show, so I supported Lewis.
But is America ready to have a Puerto Rican president of
I mean,
Legion
that's a
of
huge
Skanks?
problem, and
Right.
the answer is no.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Hey,
a Jew also, Ari, I don't know.
yeah.
The safe bet
Was Dave Smith.
was a Dave Smith
Yeah.
presidency.
I was going either
Great
Dave Smith,
name, Dave Smith.
Yeah.
Dave Smith, perfect.
Jewish, you never know.
right,
Right.
or Dan. I was going prototypical 6'3", 6'4" white guy.
Yes, good
you know.
looking.
Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
Soder or Dave Smith.
Was Soder running?
I don't know, but I was
No,
going
he was
for him.
running
Yeah.
with a super PAC for
Yeah.
Jay Okerson or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I don't remember.
He's been running for a couple years from his alcohol addiction. He's been doing a good job.
Yeah, he's
So
doing
I
a great job.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to give him
These guys stay
congratulations
sober,
on
yeah.
that.
Doing
I mean, the
very
kid's
good.
sober, very proud of him. You're sober, very proud of you.
Thank you.
America, we're proud of America. The Tim Dillon Show, always check it out.
Yeah, where can
Please.
people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything?
I believe nothing.
Yeah, because Stress Factory's over. It's sold out.
I got 2
Sold-
shows tonight or
tonight.
sold out.
Sold out.
And then
What?
then I go back to the desert and I hibernate until probably the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not flying around the country to do socially distanced hell comedy for no money.
No.
I mean, if they were all like outside Stress Factory where it's like amazing, great. That ain't it.
No.
So what I'm doing is I go back to the desert, do the podcast. And that's why I think I'm going to put out these Corona jokes, man.
Do
Put
it.
it out, dude. It's a
I think
very,
I'm going
very
to put out
smart
these
move.
Corona jokes.
If you don't know Tim Dillon Show is the podcast. You probably already know about it. One of the funniest guys, one of my personal favorites. I know Chrissy the same.
100%. 100%.
Obviously friends of the show. We weren't even going to do the podcast. He came to hang out, and we decided to turn the fucking mics on, see what's happening. Unfortunately, we didn't do one that we can't release and try to get another $1 billion from. But like Tim said, is there a fucking hedge fund manager out there with any fucking balls anymore?
Seriously.
Buy the fucking episode.
Here's what I'll just end my part of the episode on this. I was in Round Swamp Farm in East Hampton. You've been. Kidding. And I was there, and I was getting some food, about $300 or $400 worth of food for the afternoon, just to keep myself amused. And I said, I was there. There was a little kid there, about a 2-year-old, with his mother, and the way the disgust that he looked at her with was amazing. And she goes, Jeremy, she goes, this brownie is your favorite. He goes, I don't want it. And she goes, no, Jeremy, it's your favorite. He goes, oh, I don't think so. And it was great watching him. He goes, oh, I don't think so. Just with a disgust and a disdain for her. Like, he's like, you know what? This bitch, I got to spend all day with her, and she still doesn't know what my favorite fucking snack is.
At 2 years old.
At 2. And it's like, that kid
Good.
in 12 years will be in rehab for heroin.
Yeah.
Do you
At
think
14.
that was possible that was because she hadn't had her Zinfandel and pill yet?
Oh, I'm sure she had her
had
Zinfandel
it, yeah.
and her pill, and she was getting a little fucking sloppy.
Right.
Fucking Hamptons, baby. Listen, patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. You can find out all our stuff. ChristyComedy.com. I got dates October 8th to the 11th, going on a little tour with Andrew Santino, Delaware, Pittsburgh, Scranton, and Cape Cod. And then October 23rd, live stream show at 8 p.m. Anywhere you are in the world or the country, buy a ticket. It's a live streaming event right into your living room, comedy right into your living room. ChristyComedy.com, HistoryHyenas.com.
Stress Factory, October 1st to the 3rd.
I may come in and do guest spots on that.
Come.
I may
so,
come.
October 1st to 3rd, Stress Factory, only shows I'm doing before my baby's born. So get tickets on YannisPapasComedy.com.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. As always, people went to patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. We read your names out. We have a good time with the names. Be silly willy with the names. We encourage it. We love it. And the winner will get the PPW, the pseudo penis of the week. All right, so let's start off. David Primack, $3 Bill Clinton.
Put him on the list.
$3 Bill Clinton on the list. Megan Gent. Then we got When Yanni P's eyes collide, it will be the end of the world as we know it.
Put him on the list.
Then we got Father Bill's beef bayonet glue on Chrissy's Hold on. Father Bill's beef bayonet glue on Chrissy's leather Cheerio. Okay.
Here's the thing. Good attempt. If you could make a Father Bill name work at this point after months and months and months, you brought up Father Bill maybe almost 2 years ago, and every list we have multiple Father Bills.
Father Bill's a hit.
If one hits, I'm telling you right now, we're giving you, we will give you the History Hyenas podcast.
All right, so there you have it. Then we got Maurisa, Chrissy's mom, 2020.
Okay.
Eric Dvorak. Then we got Kat Thicky, but not really in the good way. It's what it is.
Drexler.
Then we got Sam, not the $3 Bill Smith.
Drexler. That's a chicken finger Drexler.
Then we got William. Then we got Chrissy, Lot Lizard, and Yanni the Slovaki jockey, 69, like the Mets.
You know where it goes.
List.
Catapult list.
Then we got Father, $3 Bill, gave me a poke, so look for the white smoke, ladder 14.
You see, that's a goodie. It's a Drexler. It's a Drexler. But, I mean, if you barrel us over with a Father Bill, we're giving you the History Hyenas podcast.
I'm Puerto Rican. My name's Lauren. My mother wanted a squeak. No fumes. I'm a boy.
Straight funny Drexler.
Then we got Justin. Father Bill took me physically into the holy water polites.
Look at this next one is maybe the champion of all time. Wait.
Sean King.
I mean, contender on the list. Chicken finger. Yeah.
Then we got Eric Shelley. Then we got Jaden, always tucked and draped in that red, white, and blue. Then we got Jimmy from Philly. We say Wooder silly, and I take Chris's therapy physically.
Yeah, that's a Drexler.
Then we got non-toot face, character piece body. Funny.
Funny Drexler.
Nick Anastasia, Michael Schnabel, Zach, Adam Smith. Then we got Tootin' My Feet Until I Can Afford the Timmy Dillon Meet and Greet, Cormac, Bailey.
Drexler.
Then we got Mike the Sauce Monkey, married a Muzzy. Now my Italian cousins think I joined ISIS. Yanni Biden 2020. Can you see the list from there?
I can kind of see it. This is a Drexler heavy list.
Yeah. Make the list small so we can't see it.
Yeah.
Because it's nice when it's a surprise.
Yeah. Make it small. I'm sorry. I won't look.
Yeah, there we go. So now you definitely can't see it. So then we got Mike D, Samantha Santos, Kimmy C. Then we got Reverse Banana Hammock. Then we got Hyenas wears chancletas because he likes the way they spank his feet when he walks. Bad boy.
Drexler. Wow, it's a Drexler list.
Then we got Taylor Forsman. Then we got my teeny weeny peeny pissed his hot wee wee. Is Chrissy D still reading this? Jeffrey Epstein never died.
Drexler.
I want Chrissy D's pre-cum in my German bum.
It's more of an offer. Once in a while, you get offers.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Then we got Yanni Chobani. I gives me wet ass punani.
Drex.
Then we got what did Giuliani do with the homeless?
That is what you call, my friends, a creative and inventive chicken finger that gets catapulted onto the list. An open-ended question has a name with a funny visualization of what it is.
What did Giuliani do with the homeless?
A rhetorical joke question. That's the type of inventiveness that's going to get you kissed right on the smash beat.
Yeah. Then we got Jason Polish Squeak with a musty piece, Chris on. Then we got Jessica DeSanto. Then we got Chris, I ain't a squeak, and I'd like to take a peek at Chrissy D's piece like Father Bill.
See, that's a Drex. Getting close to it. We're going to give you the podcast.
Then we got AC Slater. Oh, from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Then we got Eric Kleinschmidt, Jenna McCollum, Corey Piccola. Then we got Enigma soundtrack while Father Bill anoints Chrissy's skin tag crack. Okay.
Okay.
Then we got Thomas tucks it back while his dad tickles his sack castle. Then we got Josh getting a blowy from a cuzzy, can't shoot glue in a toot, but can fill father's $3 bill shoes. Bad read, sorry.
I mean, the Father Bills, they come every list.
Yeah,
hard.
it's just big. It's a hit.
Yeah.
We should make a T-shirt, Father Bill.
We should have why do we not have a $3 bill T-shirt and a Father Bill T-shirt?
We got to do it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that after this. Then we got Robert Tito, Dylan Pacheco. Then we got $3 and that's it. Then we got Colm. Good grief, I got a girl's queef in my teeth. O'Keefe.
That is on the fucking list. Good Irish boy with a good rhyme. That's what you call a lyric. A limerick.
Then we got Austin Roberts, Garrett Hansen. Then we got Caleb, the dime chaser, but fuck Nickelbanger. Okay. Then we got Nathan Smith. Then we got Brian, the priest cracked me open and cleaned me out, but it felt all right, McPike. Then we got Chrissy D was a better basketball player than Fumar Odom. Then we got Fumario Delgado. Then we got Sack, Kim Hexter. Then we got Willie, the big top Pee-wee Toots with poop shoot roots coming to see us in a different way, man.
He went for it.
Then we got Luke Holland, Emma. Then we got Ryan, a.k.a. On My Knees for Chrissy D's Cincinnati White, but talks like a mean hunter. Okay. Then we got Suck My Stump, Fuck My Rump, Vote for Trump.
I mean, it's got to go on the list for the humor and rhyme scheme.
That's what it is. Then we got Gianni Franceschi, funny. Blake Stone. Then we got Time Crunch, Toot Sesh. Howard Fink, Mac. Fumariano Rivera.
The Fumari rhymes are never going to get old.
Yeah, Fumariano.
He's getting on the list. Unfortunately, this is why I hate this, though. I don't mean to slow you down because I know you like to work quick.
Yeah.
But let me just say this. Should we stop now? Because it's just not fair. Those two, it's going to be a contention between two. They're not going to be beaten. Is anyone going to come in and beat Wei Sean King?
But I think the beauty about these lists are sometimes when we get to the end, we find bangers.
Sometimes a banger comes out of nowhere.
So then we got Bum Raider from England, you heard. Fun fact, I designed Giannis' comedy special, Blowing the Light artwork through Schultze OK.
Put him on the list just for doing that artwork. I appreciate you, dude.
Make no mistake, I'd love to come see you in another way. Joey Zazzo, Italian Fumi, Michelle Obama is a transgender. It's what it is. Sue me, Trump 2020.
The kid's throwing caution to the wind, and he just wants it out there.
Yeah.
I can't because of Venetia. I can't put you on either list.
Yeah. Then we got, make no mistake, the fumes coming off these toots are brutes. Your Tucson cuzzy. Then we got half a fruit, totally cute, not a toot. Then we got
That's what you call that's a chick. That's a good old chicken finger. I'm giving you the definition of a Drexler. Otherwise, that one didn't even make me laugh because I got Wei Zhang King in my head.
Here's where we have now a historical chicken finger, and this is why you have to keep playing the game. And straight to the oven, Frank.
We can't do anything with it except acknowledge the Yuma.
The Yuma.
All we can do is acknowledge Yuma.
Then we got Antifa's raging clit.
Wait a second.
Antifa's raging clit.
I mean,
Antifa.
Yeah, Antifa's
Like
raging clit.
Antifa, T-E-E-F-A.
Yes. I mean, throw it on the list, and like Chrissy said, that's why you play the game. You're now in contention.
Yeah. Then we got Drew Anglin. Then we got Sporos, My Beans Were Mashed by George Soros and Timmy Dillon. Jeffrey Baker, Baron Krebs. Then we got When You Unzip Your Fly and She Coughs and She Cries, that's Fumades. Or When You Unzip Your Fly and She Coughs and She Cries, that's Fumades.
Onto the list. Well done.
Then we got Trish, the screwed in non-toot, but make no mistake, I still have toot ways. Then we got Matt. Then we got Stefano Pigliapaco. Then we got Big Fat Clitty, Sideways Titty. Daniel, Ray Strick, Raina M, Jake Powell, Danny Long Days, Easton Jostad. Then we got Catholic Kid going to confession every time I play in her sandbox. Then we got Yanni Schlong Days, which is nice.
Drexler.
Packy Ryan, Philly C. Then we got I'm Not Trans, but I Still Tuck It Back. Then we got Lawrence Chrissy, Please Shoot Your Glue Up My Poop Shoot, Trantham.
Okay.
So that's the list.
Okay, so very, very, very strong Drexler list. Maybe the most Drexlers we've ever had. But for me, it comes down to $3 Bill Clinton, which was a chicken finger that nobody got to. Obviously, Wei Zhang King, and then there was one more. What Giuliani did with the homeless.
For me, it's Wei Zhang King.
For me, I mean, Wei Zhang King's hard to beat. Binky, where are you at?
Who do you got, Binky?
Oh, jeez.
Loaf, what's your deal?
Wei Zhang King.
Wei Zhang King's the winner.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. Tell all your friends. Join the matriarchy. We got Conspiracy Cuties. We're starting to break down episodes that we feel we bombed at. We got everything going on behind on the matriarchy, behind the paywall. And snoozy you guys so much for supporting us.
Wait, should we call that, like Conspiracy Cuties? Should we call that Snoozy Cuties or some sort of snoozer reviews?
Yeah.
Snoozy reviews?
Snoozer
reviews?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Where we just review our bombs?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, resnooze, like reviews, resnoozies.
Snoozies?
Resnoozies.
Snoozies?
The resnoozes. All right. Thank you, guys.
We really hope you enjoyed that episode, whatever it was about. This is just a stock thing that we're taping onto every episode. So go make sure you rate, review us, subscribe, turn on your notifications, get jiggy with it.
And go to patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys where things get really wild.